Hello, listeners. Welcome to the second program in our series, Let's Learn Geography, which is produced for grade 8 learners and anybody else who has an interest in the subject. My name is Ronald Krotz. Today, we'll learn about the three types of rocks. Please have a pen and notebook ready so that you can make notes of the important points. The keywords for today's lesson are igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic. And don't forget to take part in the quiz at the end of the program. The earth is not entirely flat and smooth. There are areas that are rough and rigid, while other areas have fine sand. Today's program will shed a little light on the different types of rocks that are found on the Earth's surface. At the end of the program, you should be able to list for each of these three rock groups their origin, two basic characteristics, and two examples.
You know what, Kaylee? When I went to Katatura last weekend, I was so afraid. Just before the sun set, I had to walk through a riverbed to get to our house in Greenwell, Matongo. I picked up 3 stones for defense. When I arrived at home, I realized each rock has a different feel to it and it had different colors.
Wow, that sounds like it was quite an experience. Why do rocks have different colors and texture? Maybe we have different types of rocks. How about we ask our geography teacher when we get to class?
I think that's a good idea. Maybe we should go ask Mr. Krotz.
Good morning, class. Hailey and Kaylee, what are you arguing about? Stop arguing. Do you two have a problem?
Sorry, sir. We were discussing something about the rocks I picked up in a riverbed in Katatura while on my way home.
We were just wondering why they have different colors and textures.
Thank you, the two of you. Thank you. All right, class. That is a good way to introduce our discussion for today, which is the types of rocks on the Earth. In the last lesson on the internal structure of the Earth, you learned about the crust, which is the outer layer of the Earth. We find different types of rocks on this layer.
Why are there differences in the rocks found on the crust, sir? What are these types of rocks, sir?
Well, Kaylee, there are 3 types of rocks that you are going to learn about in this topic. The Earth's crust is made up of different rock types. They are igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks.
But how can we differentiate between the types of rocks, sir?
Let me try, sir. I think there were some heated by the sun and others eroded by water.
Sir, I don't understand. I always thought the rocks on Earth are all the same.
Okay, don't you worry, Kaylee. You will get everything in this lesson. The igneous rocks are formed when the planet starts to cool down. They are formed from molten magma and lava. There are 2 types of igneous rocks, and they are extrusive igneous rocks that are formed when lava solidifies on the Earth's surface. And intrusive igneous rocks are formed when magma solidifies in the crust beneath the Earth's surface. They consist of crystals and are very hard. They occur in huge masses and are uniformed and form fertile soil. Examples of igneous rocks include basalt, granite, and dolerite.
So heat is involved in the formation of rocks.
Wow, awesome. You were right, Hailey. But sir, what about sedimentary and metamorphic rocks? How do they form?
Well, Kaylee, sedimentary rocks are formed from sediments deposited in water. Weathered and eroded by water, ice and wind. Sediments are transported by rivers and deposited in oceans or lakes. They occur along coastlines. They usually form in water and have layers. They contain fossils of plants and animals that died a long time ago. Examples of sedimentary rocks are sandstone, shale, limestone, and dolomite. Metamorphic rocks, on the other hand, are sedimentary or igneous rocks that have been changed by high temperatures, high pressure, or both. These rocks are often layered and have a very fine crystalline texture. They are the hardest of all rock types and wear away very slowly. When tapped with a piece of iron, they make a ching sound. Examples of metamorphic rocks are quartzite, marble, slate, schist, and gneiss.
Oh, this was very informative, sir. It is my turn to conclude the lesson. Let me do it now, please, before I forget something. We have learned so much today.
Yes, go ahead, Haley.
So, today we have learned that there are 3 types of rocks on the Earth's surface. These are igneous rocks. They form when the planet starts to cool down. They are formed from molten magma and lava. Sedimentary rocks are formed when sediments deposited in water, and metamorphic rocks, on the other hand, are sedimentary or igneous rocks that have been charged by high temperatures and high pressure, or both.
Oh, thank you so much. That's quite a mouthful. And that brings us to the end of today's program. But before we say goodbye, here is your question for the day. What are the 3 types of rocks that we've learned about today? Thank you for listening to this last lesson in our series Geomorphology. Remain dedicated to your studies so that you may achieve success. So, from myself, Ronald Krotz, the program developer Yul van Aerte, and the Namcol production crew, thanks again for listening. Until tomorrow, take care.
This program was brought to you by Namcol with funding from the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture and the Commonwealth of Learning.